Hello, it's Steven from Poland. I'm a Polish Bitcoin vlogger, and my guest today is Griff Green, who is the insider of the DAO, and he lived through the DAO exploit, and he also have a master's science degree on the digital currencies. So I think he's the guy who to talk about recent events on the Ethereum network, on the DEF CON Shanghai, and the life after the exploit of the DAO. Hi, Green. Hi,
Hey,
Greg.
how's it going, buddy? Thanks for having me on here again.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. So let's get to the point. So tell us more about the Shanghai conference.
Oh man, it was great. You know, the coolest thing about the conference in general is that, well, at least especially for me, I've been working with so many people remotely, I don't even know what they look like. You know, I have like these fake images of them in my head. You know, like Nick Johnson. Nick Johnson was, I mean, there's so many, to me, they're all these heroes that helped say, you know, finish the DAO deal, you know, so that everyone could help me get everyone's money back to them. And, you know, all these guys are volunteering their time, and I have no idea who they are, what they look like, what their story is, you know, and I just got to go give all these people big hugs. It was fantastic. But yeah, and so that was I think that is the biggest thing for these dev cons and Ethereum. Most of these people don't get to have they never get face-to-face time. And so to have everyone there in one place chatting, it was almost hard to go and listen to the talks because I just want to talk with these people in person and chips, you know?
Did you have any time for speeches on the conference?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there were a lot of amazing talks. It was you know, it started off and it eventually grew. It was kind of like probably how the Ethereum development works and development in general works. It's DevCon, you know. They started out with the EVM and the you know, the real, you know, ones and zeros, and then developed into security and kind of functionality that went into then on day 3 all the different apps and projects that are going on the network. Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, I can't. There were some specific projects, I guess, that really excited me are things that I'm interested in. You know, DAOs and charities. I got to run into Benefactory, which is a group from Consensus, and they have a really cool way of creating $0 DAOs, which is a really interesting concept. If you Google $0 DAOs, it's a cool way instead of having the projects, instead of having the money grouped in one spot and then projects asking for it, the projects come first and then people send the money to the projects directly. They actually already had a successful project funded. And I think a lot of people that are interested in DevCon probably, I think that was the project I might be getting it wrong. So I'm just but I do know that they had at least one project funded. And yeah, and then there was another great project that's kind of under scenes. I don't think he had a talk, but it was something I want people to hear about at least, as Outlaw, OTLW. And he has a really cool, it's like in my mind, it's a decentralized third-party certification program. He wants to beta test it with Syrian refugees to do kind of like accreditation, you know, assessment in education specifically, but it could scale into a lot of really cool things, specifically third-party certifications. And, you know, instead of having the USDA say this is certified organic, you could have a decentralized, you know, certification for that. Or, but he wants to beta test it in the assessment, which is really cool. Who else? Well, Wings DAO is a really cool project. They're actually on going to develop on Rootstock.
Wings DAO, like wings
Yeah, like chicken wings. You know? They're delicious and they create doubts. So I talk to a lot of people that I kind of am, focusing on the interests that I have, and I think that's the thing with these giant conferences. There's so much going on in the Ethereum network that you can't see the whole thing. You have to just kind of you're excited to meet. So all the Robinhood group people that I didn't get to know, and all the people that helped me do all the DAO stuff. I mean, even just major contributors on the Slack. Like I met TJ, who was doing all the DAO data. I mean, that was by far the coolest thing about the conference. And I recommend DevCon 3 when that happens for all the Ethereum people interested in Ethereum projects to get out there and meet your friends, because it's well worth the trip.
Isn't it too nerdy to a normal guy to go to Shanghai to this conference?
Yeah, probably. If you're a normal guy, though, you're probably not into Ethereum. So, what are you doing? I mean, if you're looking for, if you're worried about it being too nerdy, well, you're not listening to this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And tell me, please, how the community engage with you? Did they forgive you, or did they have any problems with you about the DAO exploit? Because there was a lot of tension after the DAO exploit, and I think that some people from the community suffered some trolling, some calling names from haters. And how's it with you?
Oh, I got it easy. Most people were just happy. They were just mad that I would smile, after the problem. Like that was the most trolling I got. Oh, he's too happy right now. What's his problem? I don't know. For the most part, the trolls were easy on me. I really feel bad for Stefan Twall. He got it the worst, and he still gets it. And I don't even understand why everyone rags on Stefan so much. Everyone else, I feel like we're pretty much good, especially since this is the first hack, the only hack I've ever heard of in the digital currency space where everyone got their money back. And in most hacks, or any hack that I know of, everyone who was stolen from got their money back plus 20%. So I mean, I don't hear too many people complaining about this stuff anymore. Even when the hard fork hadn't happened, I thought people were being pretty reasonable towards me. They could see that I was working my butt off to make things happen for everybody. So it's hard to be mad at someone who's working hard to save your money.
And how was the team handling it, from the Slockit?
I mean, it was really tough. It was hard to even think about Slockit until the hard fork was over. And even then, there was so much going on with the creation of Ether Classic and all that. It's just it was quite the distraction. Eventually, Slockit is actually working with RWE on a share and charge project. I ended up choosing to quit Slockit to focus on getting some family time, and I ended up going to Burning Man, and really also just I needed time to continue to volunteer my efforts on closing out the end of the DAO. The DAO still isn't over. In fact, in a couple days, we're pushing through a proposal to get the DAO tokens that are locked in the DAO out, so we can give them back to these are the last people that need their money back. The people that had a copy-paste error and accidentally sent their DAO tokens to the DAO. And we've been having min quorum every 2 weeks-ish, and we finally have enough DAO tokens that haven't been returned. There's a few whales and community members that are all voting on this proposal, Prop 299. If you still have DAO tokens, vote yes on Prop 299. And if you can stick the chain. and that will be the last group that needs to get their money back. So, you know, I've been working hard on making sure all the edge cases are taken care of, as well as the whole Robinhood white hat group thing, all the ETC that was stuck in there, on all that stuff, and just trying to give as much money back to those DAO holders as possible. And I didn't really have time to work with Force Locket on their share and charge project, which is pretty cool. To, you know, create a
So actually,
so
you left Slockit and like volunteer for the DAO, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And I went on vacation. I spent 2.5 weeks in the desert in Nevada. So
yeah, I envied that. It was probably the coolest vacation ever.
Yeah, I'm a 6-time burner, so I do it every year. So it was just, I needed time. I mean, my work-life balance was just so out of whack. I needed some time to spend with my family and my friends, and everything just worked out that I could get it done. And so, starting in August, I stopped working for Slockit.
Okay, before the interview, I told you that I have just one. Actually, I have one main question for this interview, and I hope you will answer it. And you know, I'm very excited about the DAO thing, and I really believe that DAOs might bootstrap the humanity from the start, like on the scale we've never could have even imagined. Like, you know, the bootstrapping the ideas, the new corporations, new charity organizations, like the whole world from the start in this new universal, global, and even way, you know. And how is the DAO framework right now? Is it usable? Is it fixable? Is it a code? It's a trash code, like, you know.
It's definitely not trash. Well, it's definitely not usable right now. I mentioned it before. The Ethereum network's actually been under attack ever since DevCon. I think there have been 5 specific discrete attacks, including one today, that are mostly making use of these opcodes that are the gas cost needs to be adjusted. And so they're spamming the network pretty bad, and to the point where the miners had to lower their gas limit. And so the gas limit's at 1.5 million gas, and to deploy the DAO, it costs over 4 million gas. So there's not a chance that you can use the DAO code right now. You can't even deploy a version of the DAO code. And I think that might be testament to the idea that some of these contracts need to be more modular. I spent a lot of time talking to Andy Molinas of Nexus. Nexus helps develop the DAO code for MakerDAO. And they have a really modular system, and he showed it to me. It looks beautiful. It's a lot harder to understand for a layperson who doesn't really read much code. Maybe still, like Solidity, you can understand a little bit, but if you have to go from file to file and try to understand how everything's connected, it's not just all laid out, you know, line after line, then it's a little more difficult. But, you know, he's more into the security aspect, or, you know, he's a real dev, and he hates the idea of contracts, these smart contracts. But, you know, we wrote the DAO like a smart contract, a contract. Here's line after line what happens, and I guess that's just not how general software is developed. And we got a lot of you know, during the DAO. You know, when the DAO was live, but before the hack, we still got a lot of, you know, feedback that it was poorly constructed, in that it wasn't constructed the way software is normally created. And so I think a more modular setup would be better for the DAO. I still think you can learn a lot from the DAO code, you know, and take snippets out here and there, and stuff that was added specifically. Jordi Bellina invented liquid democracy, And I mean, we should all go to his GitHub, take that and use that, because that is gold. And yeah, I think that I'm actually working on a new project that's kind of like the DAO, but specifically for charities. And we're going to have a more modular setup. You know, we're going to start with the curator multi-sig,
okay,
and we're going to
tell us more about this project. So basically, you're going to start DAOs for the charity organizations.
Yeah. So I've always really kind of thought, I mean, maybe I should talk about what a DAO is really quick. I mean, a DAO is just software, right? It's just a computer program that enables people with money and a desire to change the world to connect to people with the plan and the time to make that change. And with the DAO, it was a for-profit thing, and that's really cool. I think profit is fine, right? But I actually think DAOs are way better for a non-profit venture. You know, charities, charitable giving, and you know, there's a lot of there's a lot of global issues that I think a DAO could really attack, and it's a lot easier to rally around you know, a charity as a decentralized organization than it is to a for-profit venture. Money makes people fun, you know, and you know, doing good work keeps everyone, you know, on the same page. So at least to start, I really think, like, you know, of course, I'm really excited about building charities, and that is what is really getting me into this project. I've said it in interviews in the past that DAOs are going to be the killer app for a DAO as a charity, for sure. And I really think that using this in the charity DAO, it can evolve to a point where, you know, these DAOs are better understood and we have better software. And the whole point of the DAO was to create the first prototype of a DAO so that other people could take the code, modify it a little bit, and have their own DAO. And we want to do the same thing with the charity DAO, where we have this code base, and if you want to copy it and, you know, make your own project with it, awesome. It's going to be made to be easy to do that. And if you don't want to go through our charity but create your own, that's fine. You know, if you want to make it a for-profit, that's fine. But the goal is to have a solid code base for DAOs to develop and to be used so we can DAOify the world. You know, I really like the idea of using blockchain-based contracts over, you know, legal contracts to solve real-world problems and to organize humans. I think it can happen.
Okay, so what's the proof of concept, right?
Yeah, so the proof of concept is it's just starting small. I actually am writing a document right now, kind of the phase one for the MVP. It's got to get edited by my other partners in crime here, and they'll tell me what I'm doing wrong, and then we'll eventually push it out. It's all going to be open source, including the changes. I mean, I don't see why not. So actually, I already have a GitHub. It's just charity DAO, and there's a README file out there with the first setup of how we're going to set it up. But it's just we have the multi-sig, which has been battle tested. I've been part of. I'm a curator right now for the multi-sig. It had millions of dollars in it. No one's ever touched it, and also the Ethereum Foundation uses the multi-sig. So, you know, this is really strong code, and that would be where all the money is stored. And then we need to create a voting contract, which will start out pretty much just as a really simple, you know, you send money here, it puts the amount you sent into an array, and which every token is basically just a small little database, you know, that says this address has this balance. It'll be the same thing, but we won't really have tokens because it's transferable. Because we're trying to start with security to the max. You know, make sure everything is safe. No risk being taken. So this contract will not hold money. We're going to make sure everything's simple. No transferable tokens. You know, no complications that we don't need for the MVP. Yeah, and then that money will go to the multi-sig. And when these people who sent the money there want to send to a specific project, they will. Everyone has control of their funds at all times, as long as they trust the people in the multi-sig. It's completely centralized. The people in the multi-sig will be well-known public figures that have, proven that they're relatively trustworthy. We're going to keep it small. We're just going to develop the things. I'm not really worried about too much participation or anything like that. We're just going to focus on developing. Also, one of the big focuses are charities. It's not even so much charities. It's more like grants for Ethereum projects, which is also something Benefactory is focusing on too. And I really like that idea because then the people who are receiving money from us are also capable of looking at our code and telling us if it has flaws and incentivized to do so. So it just makes sense. And there's so many people developing open source I happen to be wearing my Ether Wallet shirt right now, and I would love to start a little fund for them. They are doing incredible work, and tirelessly, and they get donations kind of, but it'd be nice for the people who want to donate to my Ether Wallet to have some kind of feedback mechanism so that they can converse and they can talk with each other. And that's kind of the goal here, is to build a layer of trust and communication between these two groups of people. And we'll start in the Ethereum space. That's where at least we'll put our focus in. But if someone wants to, this is a permissionless project. Every project I want to work on, I like that idea of permissionless, open source, 100% free, ideally, projects. So yeah, that's my rant on the Charity DAO project. We're really early on, but I think we'll be able to put together MVP in the next month or less. It's going to be pretty simple, but I don't know how public will. I mean, it'll all be public, but I don't think I'll be promoting it until we have some cool stuff to show off.
When you'll be ready, I will be glad for a next interview about this project. So, if you'd like, of course.
Hey, you guys, it was announced here. Why not? We can do some follow-ups.
Yeah, great. Could you? Because actually, I drained all my questions, and but I got interested in this Ethereum attacks right now, which take place. You said that it's a trick. These attacks are quite tricky, and last one happened today, yeah.
Yeah.
And could you tell us more about these attacks, like who is doing it and why, and how much
I have no idea. I would just be pointing fingers at people I don't. The DAO hacker is doing it for sure. No, I don't know. The people who are doing it are really smart guys. They clearly don't like Ethereum, and they're willing to waste their money doing it. So maybe Bitcoin maximalists or something. I don't know. But they are. The way it works is there are certain opcodes that actually scan the blockchain. And so when these opcodes, when their gas was determined last, the blockchain didn't have a whole lot of things in it, It didn't. So the memory requirements for those opcodes were kind of small. And right now they're really big. And so what happens with Geth specifically, Geth is not as efficient at these memory lookups in these specific opcodes. I think most of them are memory lookups. There's a set of them. It's like a category. And the Geth just isn't very efficient right now. So most miners have already switched to Parity or Ethereum J, the Java client, because they are much more efficient at doing these opcodes. And so they're not immune to the attack, but they help the attack a lot. And so clients are basically crashing. And that's the attack in a nutshell. The reason they lowered the gas limit was because when the gas limit was higher, sometimes these blocks, especially in Geth, but even in Parity and Ethereum J, to actually the block that would be analyzed, or that would succeed and win the lottery and get 5 ether, plus the transaction fees, which right now are pretty high, the gas. It's a good day to be a miner, by the way. Like, and the network is killing it right now. It's got a good hash rate. Everything's good because we have client diversity. Parity and Ethereum J are working great. Even though Geth is down, it's no problem. We're not worried about 51% attacks. We're not worried about anything. People are just wasting money, paying miners to mine Ethereum, and helping us get our code better, which is great.
Yeah, yeah. This is like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? This is the case.
Yeah, the buzzword is anti-fragile, right? Ethereum is very anti-fragile, and it's true. It's really funny that they're just really helping us fix poor allocation for resources on our gas allocation. So yeah, it's I think these attacks will blow over. These guys are wasting their money. I don't know why exactly, but yeah, it will work out. The coolest thing was that it was clearly targeted. The first attack happened at 3 a.m. the day Shanghai time, before the Shanghai, the first day of DevCon. And so it was clearly planned attack. But it was cool because all the people, all the devs were in one place. They made a war room and they were attacking.
So it was like a playground for you down there, for the devs. Yeah.
I mean, it added an extra excitement to DevCon for sure. Got us all on the same team. It's pretty clear there's like, there's a little bit of tribalism right now with Ethereum. It's hard not to be an Ethereum maximalist a bit when people are attacking your network, And so, as much as I love ETC and the idea of ETC, what if they're attacking our network? Screw them, But yeah,
Why do you love the idea of ETC? Like where's the love in here?
Okay. Well, let me say the ETC community, those guys are tough. I don't know. But ETC as a concept it really goes with my values and why I'm really excited about digital currencies in the first place. I think with Ethereum, you can solve almost every problem that exists as long as it has a solution that allows for a win-win situation. So like digital currencies are different than fiat currencies because you can opt out. If you don't like the way the system works, you don't have to be a part of it. So solutions that require win-lose situations are like, for example, the biggest one that comes to my mind is universal basic income, right? So people have to take money from some people to give to the rest. Well, you really can't code that in Ethereum because the people whose money you take from would say, screw this, I'm out of here, And so that is what allows for ETC. If you didn't agree with the hard fork, then is our bandwidth okay? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
You're freezing up on my side. So for ETC, if you don't agree with the hard fork, then you can go to ETC. You don't have to upgrade your client. I like to explain. I can explain a hard fork really simply. So the way Bitcoin works and the way Ethereum works is that it's just everyone's running the same program on their computer. And for the hard fork, we said, hey everybody, update your program to this, which changes the rules a little bit and takes the money that the hacker stole and gives it back to the people that he stole it from without his consent. And that, without his consent right there, that is not something that you can do in digital currencies. You can't impose non-consensual actions. Of course, if everyone consents to it, they upgrade their clients, you have this Ethereum that everyone is supporting, but you can't enforce non-consensual actions. And that's why we have ETC. And that is why I love ETC, because it is a representation that blockchains cannot impose values on other people. And to me, that's beautiful. To me, I love it. Of course, I don't really like that it's all the replay attacks. I don't like a lot of the side effects of ETC. But philosophically, I was against the hard fork. I mean, I could practically, of course, we needed a hard fork. Philosophically, hard forks are, I don't like it. But it really worked out.
How do you and the community of the Ethereum, like the main chain, looks at the Ethereum Classic? Is it like the mistress you're in love with, or your last girlfriend who you still love, or is it like the little brother? Like who is it for the main chain?
For me personally, I can't speak for everyone in the main chain, as they call it, or at least Ethereum. I can speak for myself. I like to see it as potentially a safety relief valve for projects that I don't really want to see in Ethereum. Silk Road 4.0 or 5.0 or whatever Silk Road we're on. Different smart contracts for things that I don't want to support, really, that are like in that very gray area of morality. Go on ETC. You might get hard forked if you come over here. Why don't you go to ETC? The other thing I really
oh my God, it sounds terrible. Like this is it is terrible. It's a censorship in the purest way. Like you might get hard forked in here. Like, what is that?
They wouldn't get hard forked here. I'm sure we're safe. The Ethereum network could do a Silk Road 4.0 really well, but I think that more darker projects will develop on ETC than they will on Ethereum. And also, I really like the idea that it seems like most of the people who are working on ETC, like for instance, one of their biggest fans is Barry Silbert. He said that the first altcoin he ever bought was ETC, and he's not selling until it reaches parity with Ethereum. Right, and this guy's a rich guy. Like he has the main exchange for over-the-counter Ethereum. I want to say Second Life. I can't remember what it's called. Second something. But he is he and all the other Bitcoin maximalists. I don't mean that in a bad way, but people who think that Bitcoin is the only blockchain that should exist. They're actually playing with Ether Classic right now, and there's 14-second block times on Ether Classic. This could be a gateway drug for those Bitcoiners, and once you start developing in Ethereum with Solidity and all these cool things, how are you going to go back to the opcodes Bitcoin's working with? And 10-minute block times are killing me. I tried building tokens in. Copying Bitcoin's code and changing a couple numbers. I made a token called Coconuts, but it is horrible. It was so hard. You can copy and paste code and use the Ethereum blockchain and make a token in no time. It's so easy to work with. I feel like a lot of the people who hate Ethereum and then go to ETC because it seems to attract people who dislike Ethereum. And start working with ETC, they're going to find out how great Ethereum is. So, if ETC survives, awesome. That's cool. I feel like the Ethereum community in general is a bunch of devs, and they're not really worried about making a lot of money with their stuff. Of course, they want to make money, but
it's a side effect.
Yeah, pretty much. They just want to build cool stuff and change the world. At least most of the people I talk to at DevCon, most of the people I get to talk to on a daily basis in the Ethereum community, that's how they feel. And whether it's Expanse, Rootstock, ETC, or any of these other, Elisk, smart contract platforms that want to, build cool stuff using blockchain technology and change the world with it, 2 thumbs up all the way. We're all on the same team here. So I don't see a problem.
Why are you poking the Bitcoin maximalists? Like you did the tweet like 2 days ago. A few Bitcoins are double spent every 24 hours. Always wait for the confirmation or just don't accept Bitcoin. Like, why are you poking the community?
Well, I didn't want to poke them. Someone actually developed an app to make double spends. A really easy, like, quick.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
And it's I am a Bitcoin evangelist still. But if you're accepting, you gotta wait 1 or 2 confirmations, or just don't accept Bitcoin, because if you are selling anything of value, someone could have an app on their phone and they send you Bitcoin. It looks good, and then instantly it gets sent back to them, and then you lose your Bitcoin. I mean, it's just not. It would be. I feel guilty that I was proclaiming it before I better understood. Actually, no, I even understood it, and I still just said, still accept it. And to me, I feel a little guilty for that, because if you don't wait for a confirmation time, which sometimes can take half an hour or more, then you could be subject to fraud, and that's not cool. So Bitcoin's great if you're shipping somebody to somebody. Oh yeah, definitely take Bitcoin. Anyone who's can wait a couple confirmations. It's so easy. Of course, take Bitcoin. That's the way better term. Don't take Ethereum. It's too volatile. Bitcoin is better for you, 100%. But if you are doing a transaction where you hand somebody something quickly and run away, or a digital transaction where they get the file instantly, Bitcoin is you could get scammed. So.
You gotta wait for the confirmations, like.
What?
This is the only way. You gotta wait for confirmations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why I said wait 1 or 2 confirmations, or don't accept Bitcoin, because, I mean, we're still in beta mode here, and digital currency realm in general. It's good to get it beta tested, but you still got to realize all this stuff is an experiment.
Okay, Griff, I think we got this. Is it anything you would like to say more? Just
No. I guess I want to express a lot of gratitude for all the people that helped with the DAO during the creation phase, all the way up, and even before the creation phase. The community on the Slack has been incredible all the way through, and it still lives on today. It's really amazing that there's the DAO Slack, and people are still hanging out there. I mean, the DAO has been dead for a long time. I think the DAO Slack will evolve into maybe just a general Ethereum Slack, because there's still a lot of people there. It's kind of a good hub for that. And I guess I just really want to express so much gratitude, especially for the White Hat group, for the people that gave us keys to all the DAOs that we could funnel money into, for the people who helped us, analyze the blockchain for the extra balance. Oh man, what is his name? Andre, a Ledger Watch on the Slack. Wow, he stepped up to become a curator, and I got to meet him at DevCon. I mean, I can't express enough gratitude. We made him a curator, and then I ran out to Burning Man, and he just finished pushing everything through. I mean, it was. There have been so many little heroes: Nick Johnson, Boki, and all these guys who gave their time to just help people out, and the only thing they get out of it is learning a little bit about Solidity and the Ethereum network. I mean, it's really, I'm just constantly impressed with the people in this community. I used to run a masternode for Darkcoin before it was Dash, I, of course, have been in the Bitcoin community, the Dogecoin community. I've played around with a lot of digital currencies and have joined a lot of communities, and the people here are just phenomenal. It really feels more like a family atmosphere than a bunch of people who are worried about making more money and getting their digital currency to the top of the coin market cap. So yeah. So thank you guys.
Okay, so one more last thing. What do you think about putting this interview on Steemit?
Yes, I mean that's great. Like Steemit is a funny thing, It's I like to say, Bitcoin. I mean, everyone says this now. It's that Bitcoin and Ethereum. These are all DAOs. They're decentralized autonomous organizations in themselves. And I do not claim to be an expert in Steemit at all. But my understanding is that they have a very centralized currency. Like there are people who hold all of it, just like Ripple and Stellar, and now Steemit. Those are not DAOs. They're not decentralized, and therefore they're not autonomous. And they are great organizations, though. And they can still, just because you're not a DAO doesn't mean you're not cool and you're not changing the world. I like that Steemit is trying to encourage, content providers to get paid. It feels a little market manipulative. I just don't know enough about it, but I get the,
Yeah, we're gonna read some comments and we're gonna learn more about this.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not even. I'll be honest. I hold some Steemit, but I'm not, I'm not optimistic. I always throw a little bit of money into anything just so I can read up on it just a little bit if it piques my curiosity. And it could, maybe it's going to be awesome. Maybe a lot of people say that what is it? Tyrants that are really nice are actually the best leaders and the best form of organization we have. So.
Yeah, well, for you, for sure. Okay, so Griff, thank you very much for taking your time. It's past midnight in Seattle.
Yeah, it's 12:40 here, but that's okay.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna run off to Asia pretty soon, so I gotta get used to it.
I'm still impressed that we live in times we can stream live interview like sitting on the edges of the world. Like you basically right now are on the second half of the world, like on the second side, and this is great. And we are developing the world with our child, the kids. This is gonna be awesome.
I mean, we have instant communication, and then I have a very slow teleportation device that'll take me to China in 12 hours. It feels like teleportation to me, man. I feel like we're there.
Okay, thank you very much. We're gonna finish the transmission, and hope you see you soon to get some follow up about your projects. And thank you very much.
I'll see you guys.
Thank you guys for watching. Bye.